So it looks like San Diego State and the Mountain West are headed for a breakup.
Hey, I got your text. We need to talk?
I want a divorce.
What?
The Aztecs are on the brink of maybe going to the Pac-12 conference. They've issued a letter of intent as to what their plans might be in 2024 to exit the conference.
Whether or not San Diego State goes to the Pac-12, that's my bet there, or the Big 12, I don't really know that.
Now the Mountain West Conference has responded so badly.
On the one hand, don't want to lose any schools. On the other hand, you have to do what's best for your program, so let's communicate.
They've taken the president of the university off the board of directors of the Mountain West Conference.
San Diego State has stated their intention to leave the Mountain West, and in return, the Mountain West Conference is turning into Hector Barbosa from Pirates of the Caribbean.
We're to be two immortals locked in an epic battle until Judgment Day and the trumpets sound. Or you could surrender.
But the Mountain West, you're in that scenario now where it looks like San Diego State's going to be out the door.
So we're ready. We're ready for scenario A, B, C, D, Armageddon.
Please explain to me what's going on in the Mountain West Conference and why they would treat San Diego State this way.
Hopefully we can get confirmation that we are live and direct, loud and clear on the stream. Holla if you hear me, Aztec Nation, Sons of Montezuma. What is up? It is Mateo. Hey, Ale Smith, go get you one. It'll get you through some technical difficulties.
Dude, it all started working once James left.
Hey, what do you know? What do you know, man? Holla, holla. That is the voice of one dirtiest of the Dans. Man, how do you stay so clean and stay so mean? It's Dirt Ball Dan in the house with me, Mateo San Diego. We are waiting for K5 James to get back on the stream. We'll see, man. He might have disappeared. What's going on, Dan? How are you doing?
Dude, I'm great, man. I've been looking forward to this. A lot of stuff to talk about. I've had a few beers.
That's an understatement. It's been a crazy week in Aztec Nation. And man, a lot of people have been asking, guys, what do you guys think about all this mess, all these love letters between the Mountain West and San Diego State? So we wanted to make sure we get our opinions out there, not, filtered opinions, not, hype out there you see on YouTube, all these rando sites that, have their 2 cents out there. So we definitely wanted to get the real Aztec Nation take on everything that's going on. So, hey, before we get any further, just want to thank everybody for sticking with us on the stream. Make sure you go get yourself an Ale Smith. Got these tall cans over here. Of course, the State Ale is a wonderful choice of beverage. And make sure you're visiting sonsofmontezuma.com in the online shop. Check out all of our gear. We got some new NIL gear coming up very soon because football season is here. It is upon us. It's the first day of spring, and man, it is going to start heating up. I hope. El Nino has been kind of kicking my butt lately, man.
Dude, this weather, finally, man. Finally. It's been miserable, dude. I've hated it. Now it's like, today it was like beautiful.
I mean, hopefully the Padres could pull something out today. We'll see. I have to put the game on mute so we can do this thing. But anyways, okay. That's a good question. So definitely make sure on YouTube, guys, you guys are communicating with me. Send me your questions, your comments, your concerns. We want it all. We want to hear what you fans are saying. We want to know what you guys want to know. So last week, Dan, I was privileged to make it down to Snapdragon. There was a premiere event taking place. It was for premiere ticket holders. Thank you very much. You guys were not there, not allowed.
Don't get me started, dude. Don't get me started. I paid for 4 seats and I couldn't even go to this damn thing.
Oh, my heart went out for you, dude, because I only got my 1 ticket. But hey, that's
and you're not even going to be in that premiere section anymore, dude.
I don't know. I want to sit with the fellas, sit with the Sons of Money. Last year was the first year trying to fill everything out in Snapdragon, but I'm gonna have to move over to where you guys were at. But for this past season, I'm still in that seat right now. So they had a premier season ticket holder event last Thursday at Snapdragon in the the club area downstairs with the tunnel where the team comes out, and it was a really cool event. Just really got to hear from obviously Coach Brady Hoke and of course our AD of the year, JD Wicker, and just kind of get a feel for, get everybody excited, start getting excited, getting the football season. Exactly what I needed. It's exactly what I needed to kind of get my mind going in the right direction, get prepared for football.
I started. Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, we all wanted to hear if there was like, okay, are there gonna be any tells? Is JD gonna give us a little nugget, us premium ticket holders on the Pac-12 expansion, Big 12 expansion? And we were waiting, we were trying to hear, and of course, they weren't giving us too much, but there was some positivity in the air, even though this countdown is trickling down, 9 days left.
You ain't that premium, dude. Now that every event, dude, like if anyone who's really followed this closely, every event they're basically trying to tell you without telling you. Like, it's, to me, we could get into it now. To me, it's no questions asked. We're going to the Pac-12. I don't have a worry in my mind. Not one concern.
Not one concern.
Not one concern.
Ooh, okay, well, we're gonna get into that, man. James is on his way in. He's out there protecting our borders, so he's about to get in, and we're gonna go through all of this. But yeah, so I was there on Thursday, and it was a great time. But little did we know, guys, that the very next day was just gonna be this explosion of news. Friday, of course, all the craziness comes out on Friday, right? So we get the news that the letter was sent out from SDSU to the Mountain West Conference. And as soon as we started reading this letter, we knew, like, okay, this is interesting, make you want to look a little deeper into it. The wording on it, right? Everybody's talking about the wording on it. The intent to leave the Mountain West Conference was the central word that kind of got everybody's focus on there. So, I mean, what are your opinions on this letter, Dan? Because you don't mince words.
Yeah, usually, like, first of all, like, if there's one, I think at this point, like, San Diego State and the administration, we should really trust them at this point. I mean, I go on these websites, they think they know better, these random posters on forums and whatnot. When, dude, this is what this administration's been able to do for San Diego State in the last 5 years, and we still don't have faith that they could handle something like this. In addition, with some of their consultants that they have, Delaney from the old Big 10 commissioner, JMI, we're with the big dogs, so everything that they're doing is very calculated. It's not like, Adela just decided to type up a letter and send it to them. There's a reason behind it. Now, do I know the specific reason behind it or what they're trying to accomplish with it? There's a lot of theories on it. I'm not sure what their game plan is. But if there's a group of people that have earned my trust, it's this group. And I have, like, the utmost faith that they have, they're just checking boxes and they're doing what they have to do. And there's a game plan to everything. I mean, this is no matter what, it's going to be probably an ugly divorce with the Mountain West. But, they're starting the process early. They're kind of giving a heads up. The commissioner and the Mountain West commissioner has talked about how great SDSU has been in communicating their intentions, keeping her up to date on everything. I'd like to hope they're not acting like little sourpusses now, but I guess we'll see as it goes on a little bit more.
Okay, look who finally joined us. It's K5 James back from his would you come out from out to sea again, man? You run out real quick?
No, dude. I just have some technical difficulties.
All good. James, we're talking about the letter, man. What were your initial reactions to this letter, these love letters?
Yeah, I heard most of what Dan said, and I kind of agree. It was like an attempt to negotiate kind of thing. And I think the Mountain West, which is funny because their commissioner this whole time has been saying publicly she's fully prepared for San Diego State to leave. That's not going to blindside them. They have plans in place. And it almost seems like maybe she feels that way, but I guess maybe the rest of the presidents in the conference don't feel that way. Because it almost seems kind of, typical Mountain West style, being petty about something. And because, I'm almost positive that the Mountain West, one of the presidents is who leaked this information to the media. I'm pretty sure.
For sure.
San Diego State didn't want this out in the open. So San Diego State was reaching out saying, hey, we're planning on leaving, but let's open up negotiations. It's unreasonable to expect 35 million or whatever if it's after June 30th. That's completely unreasonable. So let's negotiate something else, something lower. That's kind of what I get the feeling was. And then also they wanted to talk about a payment plan, which every other conference is pretty much allowed. And every other G5 conference has allowed when their members leave. They don't force the members to pay it all up front. It's kind of, okay, we'll give you 4 years to pay it off, or 10 years, whatever. So, I don't think it's anything crazy. I know everybody wants to make it seem like, oh, the university screwed up. They thought they screwed up. I just don't see that at all, man. You have to be a very biased viewer of what went on to just say, oh, San Diego State screwed up. That's because they just sent a letter saying, hey, we're planning on leaving. What can we do about this situation? And the worst thing they can do is just say no, as far as asking for the extension. So why not ask for the extension? We know they're not going to give it to us most likely, but at least get that conversation going, and maybe you guys can work something out. So it's the Mountain West. It all boils down to it's the Mountain West being their typical petty Mountain West selves. We've been in this conference for a long time, and when it comes to situations like this, we saw it when BYU left, we saw it when Utah left, we saw it when TCU left. The conference, they can be very petty.
Now let's tap into that a little bit, though, because their reaction was their reaction. They put out another response letter basically saying no. No, that's not going to happen at this time. And those central words were what everybody focused on, was at this time. So, when you see all these other, YouTube accounts or podcasts coming out and just kind of riding this wave of fear and sensationalism, it's you got to understand these letters come out as legal, kind of setting legal precedents, right? That's the first thing that was told to me when I kind of probed around for, different answers for different things of these letters. And it's just initiating the fact that, okay, there may be some negotiations coming about for, whatever these costs are for leaving and all that good stuff. But they didn't take it that way. When you make that public, that response, it's okay, well, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, and kind of to your point. I'm sorry, Dan, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, so first of all, dude, they no team that leaves these conference ever pays their full exit fee.
Yeah.
And some of them get down to 25-30% of what the exit fee was supposed to be. And I'm not even really worried about what. So they're going to withhold that $6 million, right? We still leave, and then we decide on the rest, because they can only withhold it. They're going to withhold it once, twice. So maybe next year they could withhold it too. So that'd be 12 million, perhaps, that would be due to us.
No, dude, next year. Oh yeah, if we stayed for another year, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to stay for another year, so it's.
Well, that's what I was going to get to, is we don't have to stay for another year now, because technically the Mountain West said, you guys are out. We took this as your withdrawal letter. We've satisfied the requirements of the notice by June 30th. There's no going back from that. The Mountain West has basically said, we've accepted this notification as your official notification that you're resigning. So,
resigning June of 2024.
So you're saying not playing in the Pac-12 next year?
No, not next. What do you mean by next year?
Next year, as in 2024.
Because they're accepting it. Okay, so we're being paid dues, right? That's $6 million from the year before.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to play another year in the Mountain West, right? So we'll have another due next year. that they're not going to get back to us because it's going to go to the exit fee.
I see what you're saying.
So at most it's 12 million, and then you go to court for the rest, or you negotiate the rest, because we don't have to send them money. They don't have to send them checks. They don't have to send them money. So they can only withhold what they could withhold.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm actually not worried about it at all. But you know, I guess I sense some pettiness of it, but maybe it's also the way it's being reported too. You know, we know so little. That's why I try to tell people on these message boards that are complaining about what SDSU did. They have not a clue. I mean, come on, this thing has been airtight. Nothing's being leaked. They think they're like, you know, some master Scott Boras negotiator, but they have like these people on these, but they have no clue what's going on. So even how could you even criticize the school? You don't even know what they're doing. Nobody does.
Dude, the Pac-12 presidents don't even know what's going on, except for the few on the TV group. So, and everybody's being super tight-lipped about it. And I guess the Pac-12 kind of has a history of that, I guess. So, yeah, everybody's in the dark. So it's not like the school, I'm sure they have the handshake. Yeah, we're going to expand and you guys are going to be the ones. But yeah, they have that, but that's not official. And so I don't see any problem with what they did. It was a negotiation move, and you know, somebody leaked it from the Mountain West. So,
they could be honest, say, hey, we're really looking to get out at this time. We're trying to give you guys a heads up, you know, start looking at if you guys want to refill or whatever. Because they've always said how well San Diego State has communicated. You know, so someone brought up a point where, okay, so San Diego State saying, no, we're not resigning, right? No, and then they're saying you are resigning. Now you're out. They removed the president from their whatever committees she's on. At what point is that not them kicking us out?
Yeah.
And at that point is exit fees still need to be paid, you know?
Yeah.
That's an interesting, you know, theory that they would use to like, that people are saying like, okay, well now they're kicking us out. So yeah, let's ride with that a little bit though, because Aztec Country on YouTube says we need the Big 12. Okay, if they kicked us out, if the Mountain West kicked us out, that has to tell me that San Diego State, we feel 100% confident that the Pac-12 is going to be our landing spot. That's what it tells me. Now, that doesn't tell everybody that. And let's just play devil's advocate here because, you know, we left the Mountain West once already for the Big East. I hate to bring all that stuff up, but, you know, it's a part of human nature. We want to rely on what we know and what we've experienced already. If all of this kind of tumbles down to the ground, would you guys be okay with, okay, if it's not the Big 12, if it's Pac-12, make this move, get out of the Mountain West, create that bidding war or that sense of, okay, well, who wants us, you know? Or, okay, BYU went independent. Not saying we're going to do that. But for a year, you know, it kind of almost doesn't make sense because Pac-12 needs to renegotiate their media deal, right? That's what they're doing. So to me, there's no fear in stepping out or Mountain West kicking us out. It's like, okay, well, big deal. Pac-12 is going to need that inventory.
Can I get this out, dude? We are not going independent. You would never be able to fill a schedule in a year span to go independent. I mean, it's not. A more likely thing to happen, which it's not going to happen either, is that we stay in there a year longer. If it was like that, would happen before going independent. You know, that we wait for this media deal to be completed, then we put our notice in and we play another year longer than we want to in the Mountain West. Right? We are independent. You can never fill a schedule in a year span. It's just
not enough time to put
not enough time. I mean, you know, Matt, these schedules are built 10 years in advance. And you're going to fill 10 games. So independence out, dude. It's just not, I don't even want to talk about it. It's not an option. Yeah. They're not going independent. Dude.
Yeah. The absolute worst case scenario is they come back to the Mountain West for another year. Because what is the Mountain West going to do? Say no? Come on. Like, really?
I mean, they're going to the Mountain West their TV contract's gonna take a hit as soon as San Diego State leaves. You know, I mean, it's a big, like what, the biggest metro, most televisions in the whole conference. You know, so it's gonna take a hit. So not the independent. That's not gonna happen. But what his point was, Big 12.
Big 12. We need the Big 12.
I mean, I don't necessarily think like the big. I'm not anti Big 12, honestly.
Me neither.
And
I am.
But the better conference for us is the Pac-12 from an academic standpoint, from a
big picture,
our
travel standpoint,
the travel standpoint for our non-revenue generating sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big believer personally that I would wish conferences were regional. You know, that's like, I like that more. So that being said, you know, if the Pac-12, if push came to shove and it's June 30th and Pac-12 is waffling, but Big 12 is saying, hey, come here, we got it guaranteed, you're in. Dude, I gotta take that Big 12, you know? Yeah. But we also don't know these conversations that are happening with the president and what really her colleagues that she's really close to, she's dealt with the Pac-12, she's from Cal, what they have told her and what type of commitment's been given.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. We don't know for sure what's going on in the background of those big ivory towers, bro. But yeah, like I said, I'm against the Big 12. Like, it would take a significant difference between the two conferences for me to choose the Big 12 over the Pac-12. The scenario you brought up, obviously, you always take the bird in hand is worth more than two in the bush. So you kind of have to take that Big 12 offer if it happened that way. But otherwise, like, I'm even to the point, like, even if Colorado and Arizona left, let's say, to the Big 12, I would still rather San Diego State go to the Pac-12. So
really,
yeah, I mean, it's which I don't think Colorado and Arizona are going anyway. So I think it's kind of pointless to talk about it. But I think I would still prefer the Pac-12 because I still would rather San Diego State be associated with Cal and Stanford.
Yeah, that's the thing. Washington. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so to me, like, there's such a big difference between the two conferences in terms of academic stature, just the travel costs, and as you said, the regionality of the teams. It would suck losing Arizona, but Colorado I could care less about. If Colorado left and they were the only teams that left and we replaced Colorado, that'd be like a win-win in my opinion.
Yeah, see, for me, I would hate to see Colorado leave. I'd rather see Arizona leave. I think Colorado, academically, culturally, they're a really good fit. And that's the one thing that people don't understand is there's going to be a lot of changes in California sports with paid employee status and all this stuff. We're going to have our own culture in college football. And we kind of want to be with the Cals and the Stanfords in that regards because they're going to help guide us through as far as how the hell are we going to deal with it when California wants to do revenue sharing with the players.
That's a whole nother animal right there. I mean, we're just all trying to get used to this NIL world in college. And now California, what you're talking about is like actually paying the players, like not even talking about NIL. Like,
yeah,
it's a whole nother animal. Jeez.
No, like allowing them to unionize and things like that. So,
I mean, I'm not trying to get it off course, but I would like to be with other schools that are going to have to go through that same thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the Big 12 thing kind of never made sense to me. Everybody talking about Colorado, Arizona schools leaving. It just doesn't make sense. We talked to TJ, our good buddy TJ, and breaking down those universities, their allegiances, and they rely so much in California for those out-of-state dollars, and just like you guys say, the social and cultural.
And the thing about here's the thing I want to tell people. The thing about Colorado is they've taken a lot of what their AD has said about, hey, we're going to do what's best for Colorado. When he's saying those things, a lot of that is he's saying it to his own fan base, just to basically say, dude, just leave me alone. He's he's getting messages from all these crazy people. Yo, all you care about the Pac-12. You're not thinking about your school, whatever. So he's saying he looks like he's trying to play both sides a little bit. Colorado, from a culture standpoint and a research standpoint and an academic standpoint, is such a better fit in the Pac-12. It's not even close. That's the reason they left the Big 12.
Yeah.
I mean, they left the Big 12 when Texas and Oklahoma were still in there, you know, and now they're going to go back when they were gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't see it, man. That's kind of why I prefaced that when I talked about it. It's just, to me, the numbers would have to be like astronomically different for Colorado to go back to the Big 12. And I don't see them being astronomically different. They could be lower by a good $5 million or something like that. But I don't see them being like Mountain West money compared to Pac-12 money or Mountain West money compared to Big 12 money. So I think it would take something like that for them to have to go back.
Okay, so I'll talk about that too, because I actually had this discussion on Aztec Mesa that you're going to get to the point where if the yearly revenue from the media, it's going to have to make you make a decision, right? And when they were saying when the Washington State AD said that their revenue is going to stay flat, some people calculated it. I know there's all this different stuff, but some people initially calculated it that it'd be $25 million a year versus, 31 million from the Big 12. Now at that point, you're getting, that's $30 million, dude. Like at that point, you're getting to the point where you're going to have to make some decisions on a financial standpoint.
That's still not enough. That $5-6 million you're talking about a year.
That's over 5 years. That's 30 million.
Look at the travel budget that West Virginia had being in the Big 12. I want to say it came out to like $3 or $4 million just because of the travel. So as San Diego State or even Colorado, Arizona, you're going to be not as much as that, but you're going to be close to that. So that's a significant chunk of that difference just right there. And then when you talk about, then you got to disengage your research side of your university from all these Cal and Stanford, and they have no reason to work with you if you're not part of the conference. So to me, it's going to take I think it's going to take like 10 million for these teams to like think about leaving back to go to the Big 12 or leaving to go to the Big 12 period. But I guess we'll see, man. Who knows?
Aztec country, I'd love the Big 12 because it would expand our brand nationally and reinvigorate our rivalry with BYU. They got some solid teams out there. I don't think they're as potent as they try to come off to be. Of course, basketball, they're pretty much a juggernaut, but I know Dan's been, I know James, you've been getting into it this week on Twitter with a lot of these Big 12, what do you call them?
Yeah, the 12 and 9s. Our guy TJ taught us that one, man.
All fun.
The biggest problem I have with them is their narrative that they don't want to add San Diego State. We're not going to add another G5 school. San Diego State doesn't bring anything. Meanwhile, 3 of the teams they just added are G5 schools that are either less than or equal to San Diego State. The only difference between UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati versus San Diego State is they all had that 1 year where they made the run and went to the big game. But other than that, San Diego State is better than or equal to them in every other statistic, any other way you want to categorize the universities when you compare them. Attendance, fundraising, record on the field, record on the court. There's no huge jump between UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati and San Diego State. That's nonsense. BYU, there's a clear difference between BYU and all these other teams. BYU should have been a Power 5 school a while ago. Yeah. So I have no problem with somebody saying something like that, but these UCF fans and Houston fans and Cincinnati fans, not to mention they got waxed on the field by our team. So it's like, spare me with this, miss me with this nonsense that how your school is so much better than San Diego State, or they belong somehow and San Diego State does not.
Juan Klein, if it weren't for Cincy, UCF, and West Virginia, I wouldn't mind considering the Big 12, but that conference is too Eastern slanted now. It makes sense.
That's a big point. They're trying to go national, which he has mentioned, but I don't want to be in a national conference. I want to be in a regional conference.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that trip to Corvallis.
I hate being in the Mountain West, dude. I don't think we're a fit there either.
Yeah.
I want to be in a regional conference with like-minded institutions, like-minded culture. And dude, look at and our culture isn't the best either. You know, in some cases, like we have really laissez-faire fans, right? I want to be with other laissez-faire fans. I mean, we got to go. Those schools got to deal with it, like we got to deal with it.
Okay, Aztec Country, the pro rata clause only applies to ESPN, yet Fox has 40% of their deal, Big 12. So the Big 12 could definitely still add us. Well,
They could.
could.
They would have to get ESPN to agree, because I mean, it's still 60% of the money is.
Well, I mean, what he's talking about Fox is they don't have to take. Basically, the Fox part of the deal is even if a P5 comes, they don't have to match that 31 million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know why they would do that for a G5.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even think Fox would do that for, let's say, Colorado, like they're talking about. Like that, that's why they're going to have a hard time getting Colorado to come over, or Arizona is. I don't know if it's for sure that Fox would give them the pro rata, because they don't have to, and that's 40% of the money right there.
Okay. Shout out to our guy SD Sports Fiend on the hoop side. I will see you at Swish League tomorrow, hopefully. He says the Mountain West payout is so ridiculously low, even if worst case scenario the Pac-12 gets poached and the Pac-12 is leftovers with 15 million payout, we're in a much better situation. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about the Pac-12 getting poached. Everyone's biggest fear at this point is we go to the Pac-12, Oregon and Washington get poached. But they don't want to go west anymore. They want the ACC schools. They don't see the value in Oregon, and they don't see the value in Washington. And in fact, UCLA and USC aren't going to want them there. So I'm not really worried about it breaking down. I know that's the big fear that all the media and a lot of the, who knows if their marketing firm for the Big 12 were trying to put out there. But I mean, everything that even their presidents have said or their ADs have said is they don't like taking this trip west. They hate it. Imagine having to do it more often. And people think, oh, you know, USC and UCLA, they don't want to be the lone wolf. Yes, they want to be the lone wolf out here. They don't want Oregon going to that conference. You think they want to put Oregon back on a pedestal? No, they're trying to detach. They're trying to move to a better conference.
Yeah, USC is sick of having to recruit against Oregon. So they would rather deal with Oregon from a position of power, of perceived power. And they would never, I don't think they'll ever agree to Oregon being allowed into the same conference as they are. So yeah, I agree. I think the fear everybody has, like Washington and Oregon are going to depart imminently. I just don't see it, because the B1G has no desire for them right now. If they wanted them, they'd be in the conference already. And so I just don't think there's a true desire to add them to the conference.
I love that big brother, little brother graphic that I think Boomer came out with this week. It was like, for every state, who's the big brother, little brother. I mean, USC doesn't even want to take their little brother UCLA to the big right now. Like they're kicking and screaming, you know, dragging them out to the Midwest. So yeah, I don't see that happening either, guys.
Yeah.
Bring me another one, Theo. Bring me another one, dude. I'll knock these questions out of the park.
Appreciate all of the questions, comments, and concerns on YouTube. We appreciate you guys for checking in. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. We're getting our subscriptions up. And man, once we hit this Pac-12, like we said, we're confident this Pac-12 is going to happen. And once that happens, you guys better hold on to your chonies, because you know, Aztec football is about to be on a whole different scale, and they're gonna have to be. So really quick, just want to give a little shout out, because like we mentioned, the NIL game is changing things crazy. Things are going to be changing even more with, you know, California legislature. So if you haven't already yet, definitely go check out the Mesa Foundation for basketball, Aztec Link for football. They're trying to do their thing. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and you know, it's good to see on the football side, you know, things starting to pick up. So that's a big added plus. I know SDSU just hired a new NIL coordinator as well. So that's very exciting, and a lot of good things should be on their way. And of course, Sons of Montezuma, we're still doing our thing. The first to dive into the NIL space at SDSU. Thank you very much. We wear that badge very proudly. We do our part, do what we can, and we appreciate all you guys, all your support in the store, on the streams, all that good stuff. Okay, Juan Klein. Yep, UCLA was added with SC because the big wanted all of LA. That makes perfect sense. LA, the number 2 media market. Connor Johnson, look at these guys. Are these the Pac-12 guys? Well, hey, he's got a Beav logo. Oregon State wants us to join, man. They want us to join. I mean, they got a belching beaver out here. They're already planning their road trips down here. Get out of Oregon and come down to San Diego. I'm looking forward to that trip to Corvallis.
Let's be real, dude. We've always wanted to be in the Pac-12. We can't hide it. Like that's the conference that this school was meant to be in from the very beginning. So, yeah, UCLA and USC aren't in there anymore. But there's still a lot of good schools that are in that conference that I want to be attached to, and I want to play against, and I want to beat, and and I want to be associated with.
Makes sense. Our rival would probably be Utah, right?
I saw someone talking about that, and yeah, I guess. I mean, that's the one thing I think we'll kind of lack a rival. I know you guys mentioned maybe like a UC school versus state school thing, but come on, dude, their rivals are going to be Stanford always. So,
yeah.
Who knows? I mean, yeah, maybe SMU. They're saying SMU in Colorado. Maybe, I don't know.
We might have to make our rival Stanford, because there's some people that kind of do not think SDSU still belongs in the Pac-12. I see SDSU Aztec. What's up with Mark Ziegler on various streams and podcasts being sour on SDSU even before the letter fiasco? I know we had a little brief.
Dude, let me hit this one out of the ballpark, dude, because I think James will come from a different situation. I actually like Ziegler. I kind of like his articles he does with basketball. I thought he was really great with the MLS stories and all that stuff. But I've listened enough to his articles. I've read enough of his articles and listened enough to his interviews. He is just not that connected or doesn't know that much about conference realignment. He really doesn't. And I'm talking outside mostly of SDSU. Like, he doesn't know the inner workings, I don't believe, of other conferences. He's not learning about the other conferences' needs. And he's just not in touch. So I hear these things that he's talking about, and a lot of them are incorrect, or they don't make sense, or he's getting fooled by like a Dennis Dodd article, or like he's really being catfished by the Big 12. So anything he says at this point in regards to conference realignment, I don't even listen to it. I don't even read. He's just not that knowledgeable on that front. And I've from the day one of UCLA and USC, I read everything that comes with conference realignment. I see it all. I'm on every website you can imagine. I'm on every message board, every forum you can see. I have all the information coming to me, and sometimes the stuff he says doesn't really make sense if you read what other presidents from other schools are saying. So anything Ziegler as it relates to conference realignment, I just take with a grain of salt. And it's actually pretty shocking that he doesn't have more sources from SDSU on this. And I'm kind of curious why, because you would think if they were going to feed someone information, it'd be him, but they're not feeding him anything.
Well, he's a Stanford grad, so that'll tell you why he has his attitude he does towards San Diego State. He cares about basketball because he formed a relationship with the prior staff, and they got hot and they built into the power they were. So it was good for him to be the inside guy for basketball. So that's all he's focused on, that. And he has soccer connections because he was a soccer writer as well for the UT. So that's how he got the scoop on the MLS stuff. But when it comes to the actual administration, he has no real connections with the higher ups in the administration. He doesn't talk to De La Torre. He talks to Wicker, I'm sure, just being at athletic events. But he's got no inside scoop. He's got no big donors he really talks to. He's got nothing in the way of connections that would know about this realignment stuff. and he doesn't care enough about college football to know about this realignment stuff. So yeah, anything he says, other than if it's about basketball or soccer, I just ignore completely, because that's all he cares enough to give a quality product in. Everything else, I mean, you know me, dude, I will never forget the article he wrote in 2008.
I knew it was coming up. That's why.
You know it's coming. How could you ever let him forget that, dude? Let's never mind that the basketball program, let's say they did what he did, the basketball program would not be what it is now if they would have done what he advocated. So I take anything that guy says with regard to San Diego State, other than basketball, with a grain of salt, or even less than a grain of salt, dude. It's not even worth listening to.
Well, why don't you tell the people what happened in 2008?
Everybody knows, man. If you're listening,
I don't know. I think. I mean, that was a while ago.
Yeah, this Mark Ziegler advocated for San Diego State to shut down the football program. He said it's a waste of money. All they're doing is losing money. They should shut the program down and give all that money to the basketball side. And never mind that would have kicked us out of the Mountain West. We would have had to go to the Big West. Everybody threw a hissy fit. We were gonna have to go to the Big West and we were going to the Big East. Could you imagine? So anyway, but yeah, let's get beyond how dumb that is. And that right there should disqualify him from having anything to say about San Diego State for now until eternity. So
sounds like a lot of pettiness. Oh, well,
let's
let's get a little petty. Joel on Anderson on the chat says, leave the pettiness to Mountain West Conference. Let's just leave that conference. And then answer 321. Should SDSU consider not wearing a Mountain West patch on their uniforms this year? I don't know if it's against the uniform guidelines. Mountain West is being petty for saying SDSU has resigned as a form of protest, guys. Should they be doing this?
I want to say that's like they'd get fined if they did, dude. I want to say it's like part of the uniform, like you said, uniform guidelines and rules. That would be awesome. That'd be hilarious, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, I think they'd probably get some kind of fine or something for it.
Pay the fine. Let's do it. Yes. Okay. Rob's HK, what's up? The UT San Diego coverage of the Aztecs is mediocre at best, and it's even worse that it's stuck behind a paywall. Dang, throwing some haymakers. Okay.
I think they could use that incognito tab on your Google Chrome, and you could read your articles.
Let's not give people directions on how to get around paywalls on our podcast.
But no, what's interesting is if they listen to that interview with Wilner and Canzano, Ziegler basically says that they haven't done that well of covering the story, and like they should have probably went after this story even more.
No shit. The local paper should have been all over this. This should be the biggest thing on the sports section, like every day. Like there should be constant updates every day. Like there's radio shows in Utah and Texas that are doing daily segments on San Diego State, and our own newspaper is not. So yeah I agree.
Well, I'm happy. This is one of the reasons why Sons of Monty exists. We saw a need, we're filling that need, and it's great to have everybody in here supporting it. Guys, other places, other people have stepped up to the plate as well, right? EVT, you got a couple different podcasts jumping out there now. People are now wanting to talk Aztec sports in this town. It begs the question, guys, is San Diego a better sports town now that we're what are we, like 7 years removed from the NFL leaving San Diego, and now we're on the doorsteps of being added to a Pac-12? Are we a better sports town now?
I don't know. It's kind of a weird question, but how do you gauge it? I think Padre fans are better for sure. Like their turnout's been pretty amazing, but they've also put a lot of money into that team. I think our turnout for Aztec football could be a lot better still. So when I start seeing that happen, I think I could get on more. And I think soccer has a good turnout too, but I want to see the fans at the Aztecs game. I want it packed. then we could talk about if this city has grown as far as their commitment to sports.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's better, but it has definitely changed. Before, the Chargers are like a vacuum sucking up all the local support. And with that vacuum gone, it seems like it's spread out, like where the SEALs have a lot of people going, and this MLS team's gonna have a lot of people going, the locals have a lot of people going. So yeah, I agree with Dan. Football support could always be better at San Diego State. But overall, like the Padres are doing amazing things. And it seems like the support for smaller leagues and teams has grown, and it's kind of filled that void a little bit. And it seems like we're diversifying our interests, I guess I would say. And I think it's better in the long run, because I think these smaller leagues and teams will continue to grow, and SDSU is going to continue to grow support, especially if we get into the Pac-12. So yeah, I think it's going to be, in the long term, I think it's going to be a better sports town than when the Chargers were here.
Yeah, that Final Four run definitely helped. I mean, we're on the doorstep of expansion, but that Final Four run did a lot, even for the football program, for all programs involved. So everybody in the chat is really agreeing with that. The national coverage on San Diego State has been huge, while the local coverage is still, we're getting there, we're growing, we're doing it. SDSU will be selling out Snapdragon Stadium if we can get into the Pac or the Big 12, says 01 Mad Cat. Random question here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I shouldn't even read that question. Shouldn't even read that one. Everybody knows about that. Okay. Connor Johnson, I'm a little disrespected. There's a small portion of your fan base wants to go to the Big 12 over the Pac. Wild effing, well, what? Wild F the Big 12. Yeah, we agree for the most part. But hey, we're not beggars can't be choosers, man. If Big 12 comes to us with opportunity, I'm packing my bags.
I see some good things in the Big 12. A lot more college towns. Yeah, they're whole bunk cities, but it's stuff. Those are places I like to go to more so than the big metro cities. The basketball is top notch. The passion within the fans, would be great. Although it's going to be hard for SDSU to compete in that portion of it. So I definitely see some stuff in the Big 12. It's just I want to be in the Pac-12. I want to be a West Coast conference.
We just want that Power 5 status, right? We just want to grow. Got to go where you can grow. Okay, I don't know about that, Connor. He's talking about Corvallis voted the best college town in the Pac-12. Oh, in the Pac-12, I would say that. I've been to Corvallis once when we played like over 10 years ago. That was a great road trip. We're taking that road trip this year again, and it feels like you're camping out there in Oregon, man. You take off from Portland, go down south a few hours, or an hour or so.
Hour and a half, dude.
It's a good time out there for sure. Okay, guys, how we feeling? I mean, I feel like any day now we can get this invite. These things, sources tell me that these deals happen this way. You just never know when that dotted line is going to get signed. I mean, it's kind of like it takes all this time to get to that point. But once you're at that point, it happens quick. And it could be any day. It could be well into July. I'm not going to be surprised with anything at this point. I mean, we could wrap up this thing and see a tweet, but
yeah, man,
I'm feeling good. I'm still feeling confident.
That Spencer McLaughlin guy who does that Locked On Pac-12 podcast, he summed it up pretty succinctly when he said, I used to wake up every morning thinking, oh, this could be the day the deal's done. And I find it better for me mentally to just wake up and not even think about it, because it's not going to come today, most likely.
I haven't been able to do that yet.
So yeah, I just wake up and I don't even think about it, and something will make me think of like SDSU or the Pac-12, and I'm like, oh, let me check to see what's going on with the deal. So I've kind of turned that off in my brain, so I don't think about it first thing in the morning anymore.
Yeah, a lot of Locked On Pac-12 love in the chat. Spencer McLaughlin. Hopefully we'll get some guests here in the show again. Pretty soon, of course. Like we said, once things ramp up. it's going to be night and day difference, guys. Aztec Nation, we're chomping at the bit, but we got to be ready. Got to be ready. Okay, Mr. Anderson saying we've had a handshake deal since December 14th. I believe that, absolutely. But we're all waiting. We're all waiting on this media deal. That's basically what it is. I mean,
I think we have too. But I mean, it's a handshake deal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't sign a grant of rights, then that's the issue. Yeah. So they got to sign the grant of rights, dude.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm not celebrating until it's introduced. I mean, when is the Pac-12 media week? What is it, like the second week of July or something like that?
Yeah,
I think so. I think that's kind of the date we got to watch. Like, you know, everybody wants to look at the 30th for the Mountain West thing, but it almost seems like that's somewhat settled. So I think their media days are, you want to have it done before the media day, dude, because you don't want all the coaches and players being asked about the media deal. You want them being asked about what's going on for the upcoming year. So to me, that seems like the next date we should look for is the Pac-12 media days.
Okay, I see. This is when I appreciate other fan bases coming in the chat when they actually bring some constructiveness to the chat. So Connor, I appreciate you chiming in. Here's 2 breadcrumbs. Amazon Prime re-upped with the Prime show. Why would they not be involved in the media deal? Why would San Diego send that email? Apple, Max, Amazon, TNT, ESPN. Okay, that's an interesting thought. Amazon Prime. I've been thinking nothing but Apple. I feel like Apple is where it's going to happen, but what do I know?
We don't know. We've been fed Apple, you know.
We've been fed Apple, and we've been told ESPN is out and CBS is out, but I don't believe that, dude. I think ESPN is very much in for the after dark, and I think CBS is very much in for the late game. What late games do they have for football now? Like afternoon games. CBS doesn't have any college football, I don't think.
Okay, all right.
We'll find out.
Yeah. I think Fiend said it best back up in the chat. It's kind of like nobody really knows. It's the best thing he's heard all week. So it's like a lot of this stuff is what it is. Okay, let's talk about really quick. Who's hating on us more right now? Fresno or Boise? I love talking to my dad. I love talking to my dad about this stuff. Dude. My pops is always like, what about those pony boys up there? What do they call them again? Those pony boys? I love it. He knows who he's talking about.
Yeah.
Fresno? You think Fresno?
I think Fresno.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I think Fresno just because they're a fellow Cal State school and they feel like they've always been so much better than us in football. Never mind, it's just been like stretches here or there. But yeah, they feel like they are a better fit for a Power 5 conference than San Diego State. And to see San Diego State, I mean, they've been left behind. This would be the 3rd time San Diego State has left behind Fresno.
Man,
you think they would learn, you know, we continue to leave them behind because we're moving on to better things and they continue to think that they're a better school, better program. So yeah, I think Fresno is probably the most salty because Boise, even though the fans are salty and they feel they deserve to be in the Power 5, I think they understand the drawbacks their school has to get there.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Whereas Fresno fan doesn't realize they don't recognize the drawbacks that their school and university has that prevents them from getting into the Power 5.
I can agree with that. I know Fresno has always had that chip on the shoulder against us for the
dude. They think they're going to the Big 12, dude.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, it would be a better fit. It would be a better fit if Big 12 wanted to really reach. You know, if they really wanted to reach for that. Okay.
Fresno is like the most Big 12 FBS team in California for sure.
Dude, imagine that basketball team though in the Big 12.
Oh it'd be like 100-20.
Well, Hutt can recruit. You know, he'll be able to recruit a little better, right? Is he? Yeah.
I don't even know who their coach is right now, dude.
Is he still? I think he's still there.
He's still there.
Is he still there?
He's on the last. They didn't even extend him. He's on the last year of his deal.
So he's on a freaking dead man walking year, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I want to see him do well. It's just tough when he's on the Bulldogs, you know. Woo! Man, we covered a lot, guys. And any other things we need to touch on? I know we didn't even talk about the football team yet, but we're still in June. But man, I'm getting more excited. I'm getting more intrigued by this year's team. I got a chance to shake hands with a lot of the coaches there last Thursday night at that event at Snapdragon, and just a really, really good group of coaches. A few newcomers, right, that they really highlighted, and man, excited to have Ryan Lindley back. Got to shake his hand, and he's an excitable guy. Of course, he's Aztec for life. Did some great things in the red and black, and I'm curious about the offense. I think people. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. We got a lot of question marks, but I think it's gonna be a little more return to that pound and ground than maybe to what people may not like, but what's effective. You got to go with what personnel you have on the field, but it's gonna be interesting. I know we can't totally deep dive into it right now, but it's gonna be interesting.
I mean, just in general, I'm kind of sick of the pessimism around the football team and the kind of like the negativity. Like, I get it. We weren't very good last year. There's big question marks on the offensive line, but how many times can I read it? I'm so sick of hearing about it or seeing it. At some point, look, we have this game. Let's go play and let's have some positive thoughts going into the season, because there's going to be a ton of opportunity once the season starts to really bitch and moan. So let's see what these coaches could do now, and then go from there. Let's stay positive at this point. Otherwise, what are we even looking forward to?
Yeah. I've been encouraged with the recruiting, guys. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see this offense this year. I think that I don't think it's just going to be, we're going back to the I formation and we're just going to pound the ball everywhere. I think it's going to be more of like a pro style formation. We're going to have two backs. We're going to have a full back a little more, but it's still going to be more modern. And Ryan Lindley, he's been coaching pro quarterbacks. He was an assistant coach for Leach on the defensive side, but he was still an assistant coach for Leach. So he's had some different newer inputs that he didn't have here when he was played in the pro style offense that he played in under Borges. So yeah, I'm excited to see this offense. I'm excited to see what he whips up, and I'm pretty sure he's got like total control of the offense. So I'm excited to see what he comes with, and I thought about it. Like I told you guys before the pod started, I watched the Fresno State game on my way back from Arizona, and Maiden looked really good in that game. He had a really good performance, and I'm excited to see him. I think there could be like a quantum leap in his performance this year, where he actually has a whole offseason to prepare as a quarterback, train as a quarterback, come in physically ready to be a quarterback. I think that could make a huge difference in his performance this year. So it's just that big question mark about the offensive line, whether they can give him enough time to do his thing. I think we could be pleasantly surprised by the offense this year.
Big shout out Juan Klein making that point as well with you, James, hoping Maiden having a full preseason camp at quarterback. It can't do anything but help, and that's true. I mean, having him as the dedicated number one guy, and really the whole quarterback room, I think they're very talented. So just having that fresh voice in there, that fresh scheme, I think it's going to go a long ways. I really do. I'm excited to get into it, though, as these weeks are going to fly by really fast, guys. So we thank you guys for joining in and supporting. Again, we're on the doorstep with this thing. Let's stay positive. Let's I'm not even going to give room for any kind of theories, conspiracy theories, sources, all that kind of stuff. We just call it as we see it. And we hope you guys were entertained and got some information out of us this evening. I mean, the Padres are losing, man. So what else are you gonna do, man? Put that sucker on mute and listen to us. You guys feeling good? How you guys feeling?
I was good, man. Yeah, it's good to talk, and some interesting stuff going on, and hopefully we get some updates sooner rather than later on this Pac-12 deal, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to go on with my life. I mean, it was good to actually kind of talk and vent a little bit and kind of get passionate about it instead of just reading it or typing about it. And it's good. I mean, obviously you could tell by some of the questions, everybody's pretty fired up.
How could you not be, man? How could you not be? Mr. Anderson says, "This is your life, Dan." I know it's mine, man. I know it's mine. So, hey, we're super fans for a reason. But we're all Sons of Montezuma, and we appreciate you guys joining tonight. We're gonna wrap this thing up. We appreciate you guys, all your support. Make sure you guys are checking out sonsofmontezuma.com. 9 days and counting, Aztec brothers, Aztec country. We hear you, we see you. 9 days and counting. Let's count these down. Let's get excited. No matter if it runs into July, hey, maybe we'll be celebrating on the 4th with some fireworks and some news. When it happens, it happens. But we're gonna be here, and we'll be reporting and creating more things for you guys. So appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell all your Aztec familia about us. We got some new things coming down the way very soon that probably nobody's expecting at all. And I'm really excited about it. So, all right. Switch League starts tomorrow. If anybody wants to come by Lincoln High, I will be there. Hopefully SD Sports Fiend will be there. Come shake a hand. Come check out some hoops. Summer League is happening. And hopefully some Aztec players will show up throughout the summer. Guys, on behalf of everybody in Sons of Montezuma, the whole team, the whole crew, sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Let's go.
Go Aztecs.
Hey, Aztec Nation. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. And then stop on over to sonsofmontezuma.com, where you can find more SDSU sports, news, articles, podcasts, and the freshest and most unique Aztec-inspired merchandise, including our original NIL shop. Lots of new styles there for both men and women, and even kids. Your support to this channel helps fund a lot more creative ideas. So make sure to stop over to sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Hey Aztec Nation, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. And then stop on over to sonsofmontezuma.com, where you can find more SDSU sports, news, articles, podcasts, and the freshest and most unique Aztec-inspired merchandise, including our original NIL shop. Lots of new styles there for both men and women, and even kids. Your support to this channel helps fund a lot more creative ideas. So make sure to stop over to sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Hey Aztec Nation, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. And then stop on over to sonsofmontezuma.com, where you can find more SDSU sports, news, articles, podcasts, and the freshest and most unique Aztec-inspired merchandise, including our original NIL shop. Lots of new styles there for both men and women, and even kids. Your support to this channel helps fund a lot more creative ideas. So make sure to stop over to sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Hey Aztec Nation, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. And then stop on over to sonsofmontezuma.com, where you can find more SDSU sports, news, articles, podcasts, and the freshest and most unique Aztec-inspired merchandise, including our original NIL shop. Lots of new styles there for both men and women, and even kids. Your support to this channel helps fund a lot more creative ideas. So make sure to stop over to sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Hey Aztec Nation, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. And then stop on over to sonsofmontezuma.com, where you can find more SDSU sports, news, articles, podcasts, and the freshest and most unique Aztec-inspired merchandise, including our original NIL shop. Lots of new styles there for both men and women, and even kids. Your support to this channel helps fund a lot more creative ideas. So make sure to stop over to sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs. Hey Aztec Nation, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. And then stop on over to sonsofmontezuma.com, where you can find more SDSU sports, news, articles, podcasts, and the freshest and most unique Aztec-inspired merchandise, including our original NIL shop. Lots of new styles there for both men and women, and even kids. Your support to this channel helps fund a lot more creative ideas. So make sure to stop over to sonsofmontezuma.com. Go